Next up, one popular anime property that fans have been calling for a future film version seems to officially be on the way. Robotech is finally heading for the big screen, with Sony Pictures announcing that they have secured the future rights to the property and that they have the intention of moving quickly towards production of a future global franchise. Robotech takes place at a time when Earth has developed giant robots formed from the technology on an alien spacecraft that crashed on a South Pacific isle. Mankind is forced to use the technology to fend off 3 successive waves of alien invasions. The first invasion concerns a battle with a race of giant warriors who seek to retrieve their flagship's energy source known as protoculture, and the planet's survival ends up in the hands of 2 young pilots. Okay, Mark, buy or sell a Robotech franchise finally being in the works?
Yeah, I'll buy it. It's been rumored forever, not just when the cartoon was around, the anime series in the mid-'80s. I think Tobey Maguire was attached to this.
Yeah.
At one point, I think DiCaprio was attached to star in these at one point, not too long ago. So now I'm going to buy that. I'm excited that it's getting off the ground. I want it to get off the ground. I think there's a lot to explore in this world. It sounds like you could do something like Pacific Rim, although this came before Pacific Rim was ever a thing, and you can actually make it better and have a really engaging story. So unlike Lara Croft over there, who I'm sure has played the games, I've never played a Robotech video game, but this sounds like a promising idea.
Yeah, I remember it had to have been 7 years ago that Tobey Maguire's name came out, that he was going to actually star in and probably produce Robotech films, and that went nowhere. I'm not sure that the DiCaprio thing was ever real. I heard those rumors as well. I don't know if it was ever real or not. Maybe it was. But this is a no-brainer, and I'm just waiting for the onslaught, when the first promo pictures come out and people say, this is a Pacific Rim knockoff. No, it's not. It's like when people, I remember, totally true. I remember when people, when the first Lord of the Rings came out and people were saying it was just a Dungeons and Dragons ripoff because it had rangers and dwarves. Like, you do know what came first, right? Yeah. That was all completely, listen to Guillermo del Toro talk about it. Like, Pacific Rim was completely influenced by Robotech. This is one you can do. Look, I'm not usually the guy, I will very usually not jump on the bandwagon when people say, hey, turn this into a movie and turn this into a movie. It's like, just because you liked it as a kid doesn't mean. This is one that can work. It's got huge cinematic potential. It does have a very hardcore following from guys who've been watching this for generations now. This is a good move. I think this will work really well. So for me, it's a big buy.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen anything from the franchise for about 8 years. I think the comics finished around 2005. The games finished 2007. So that's like that, okay, let's give it the breath of life. I think that now that we've had 4 Transformers and that's kind of, dissipating, this is where it could fill in that big gap. And, that makes billions of dollars, Transformers. So this could as well, but I think that this would have a little bit more of a bigger scale. Like, that's what I liked about Pacific Rim, the huge grand scale of these Jaegers. Thank you, Mark Ellis, for filling me in on
I know
that
my
one.
Jaeger.
And the kaiju, like, that was just huge, and it was like Godzilla-esque, and I think that we could have the grander scale of that as well back into these movies. So it would be a better Transformers, especially when huge names are being attached to it and people are talking about it like that.
But there's a concern for me that I think it sounds interesting. That's why I bought the premise. But don't you think that there's going to be a little bit of audience fatigue when you have all these Transformer movies that aren't that good? They make a lot of money, but Robotech is not the name Transformers. It's not the same brand name. It doesn't have that recognizability. And Pacific Rim didn't do as well as people thought it would. So people might look at it. I know Robotech came first, but the movies didn't happen like that. So people might see this and just be like, oh, this is another franchise that they're trying to get off the ground with giant robots.
One word, robots. Robots. Mother flipping
They're
robots.
cool. I think they're cool.
But at the same time, an argument can be made that presents an opportunity, actually. Because like you could have said when Christopher Nolan was looking at making Batman Begins or The Dark Knight, you could say, aren't people fatigued with the Schumacher Batmans? Like, we saw Batman and Robin, Arnold Schwarzenegger, put it on ice, all that kind of stuff. I mean, but what that really did was it created an opportunity that you bring the audience now a Batman movie in another certain style with a certain level of excellence, and that failure before actually creates fertile ground for a lot of success or something else. I would suggest that the recent failures of Transformers, and how do you with a straight face call a movie that makes over $1 billion worldwide a failure? Yeah. I'm not really sure, but it was a horrible movie. But I think if you can take that bad taste in people's mouths of Transformers 4, right, and give them like a Batman Begins, a Dark Knight version of that with Robotech, with a studio behind it that says, look, we're not just going to make big explosions to cash in on some quick money, which is what all movies are really anyway, but we're not just going to do that. We're going to try to put some effort into this to make this a solid Dark Knight type of movie that will excel. And if they can do that, awesome. If they give us, but if they give us Robotech with, humping Robotech dogs, then it's we're no further ahead.
Let's build the robots out of Legos just to be safe.
Yes!
Hey everyone, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.